Good morning. Welcome to morning practice with Olivia on December 28th, Thursday. It is our last morning practice of 2023, at least here in this format together. I encourage you to continue your morning practices on your own at home over the next few days, especially as we close out this quite amazing year of 2023. Um, we will be having morning practice on Monday, January 1st at 7 a.m. California time. I look forward to seeing you there and getting the year started, really diving in to 2024. And so, as we close out this week and this year, I just want to take a moment again to thank Angela for making this space possible, for making this space available so that I've been able to offer this practice. She's been an incredible force in my life, and just that we're here, is truly a gift. And I do hope to find us a new space in the new year, and I see that happening very soon. But all in the universe's time, as we were discussing yesterday. So yes, it's been a week with the full moon on Tuesday, and trusting and surrendering to the timing of events unfolding, knowing that everything is going to be met at the perfect time. In addition to really focusing on having compassion for our own wounding and holding ourselves with love and integrity as we examine and observe our wounds, and also the gifts that they bestow upon us in terms of growth, in terms of understanding, and in terms of how we then move into the world. So, yeah, what a moon. And also, we've been finishing up the 8 limbs of yoga. We talked about pratyahara on Tuesday, the withdrawal of the senses, which this is such a great time to release yourself from all the external stimulation that our current culture offers, and really go within. And that does, develop and enhance your sense of dharana, another of the 8 limbs, which is focus and concentration. And the whole practice of yoga really, I would say, is the cultivation of awareness. And with the cultivation of awareness comes a cultivated focus and concentration, because your awareness can examine what your focus and concentration is and the quality of it. And as we develop our awareness, we develop the quality of our focus and concentration. They go hand in hand. So it leaves the final of the 8 limbs of yoga. And just, I think samadhi, which is the 8th of the 8 limbs of yoga, portends to portends to what I interpret samadhi as is the sort of harmonic bliss that is possible to experience as a human person, as a human soul. Harmonic resonance, harmonic bliss, ecstatic. Yes, ecstatic resonance. Yes, harmonic resonance. Yes, harmonic bliss. When we feel completely at one and completely in union, in perfect peace, in perfect bliss with the existence that we're vibrating in. Now, admittedly, we don't feel that way all the time, but I believe all of us as humans get to pass through that state And it's almost an ego death, you know, it's almost where you forget your sense of your ego and yourself entirely because you are so merged and in union with the state of existence that you're in. Samadhi is just such a sweet and elevated spiritual place, but also a place that can come upon anyone at any time, whether or not they're interested in yoga, whether or not they have a yoga practice. Samadhi, just that knowing of you belong in the world, which you absolutely do, and you have a rightful place to be here, and you are blissfully, ecstatically merged in union with that experience of your existence. I believe we all experience this, whether we're aware of the term yoga or not. So I feel like that's a really lovely place to close out our 2023 as we move into setting our sights towards 2024. The 8 limbs of yoga just give us such a lovely framework to self-reflect, but really these are principles that are above and beyond and go above and beyond what we think of as yoga. They're simply ways of experiencing humanity as a physical body, as a spiritual soul, or even as a non-spiritual soul. So if anyone is interested in having an overview sheet of the 8 limbs of yoga to reference in the future sent to them, just direct message me. I have a nice sheet put together that's just a reflection of everything that we've looked at in the last 3 weeks. And I'd be happy to share that with you. Very sort of basic, not a very big in-depth read. There's a lot out there on the 8 limbs of yoga. You can do your own research, and I encourage you, because that's usually the best way to learn, is to do your own research, because you're being self-directed in interest and inquiry. But if you want that just basic sheet as an overview, please just direct message me. I'm happy to share. So let's get started today. I feel like I want to bring in the music early, even for our meditation. Even I know it's a sort of external stimulation, but we'll still go within. And just finding that place of stillness, finding a still seat, getting out any kinks or little wobbles or wiggles that you might need right before we come into stillness. I can tell that actually the block that I'm sitting on needs a little adjustment. There we go. And just finding your place of stillness this morning, straight spine, closing the eyes, feeling the breath inhabiting the body. Let's all take a big sigh together, right? Big breath in and make some noise. Let's do that again. One more. Make some noise. I really encourage you. Big breath in and Yeah, maybe we'll do a little chanting as form of pranayama this morning. But not to get ahead of myself. Let's come into our heart meditation. So just closing the eyes and letting the breath be normal. Placing one hand over your heart center and possibly the other hand over top of it, and maybe rubbing them a little, feeling the contact of the skin, the warmth of the palms, the contact of the palms to the chest, and just finding a place of ease, a place of flow, a place of delight inside of yourself, and a place of quiet as we go within to the internal state, feeling the quietness, Feeling the energy of the palms connecting with the magnetic field of the heart, the light, the love that your heart emits. And once again, I will quote the wonderful Lee Harris and the Z's. The power of your heart is the heart of your power. It's something that you can say to yourself every day because it is true. Your heart is magnificent. Your heart is infinite in possibility, capability, flexibility. Your heart knows and feels truth. Your heart knows and feels compassion for yourself, for others. Your heart is extraordinary. There is no other heart like your heart that you are holding in your hands at this moment. Your heart is utterly unique to you, and there will never be another heart like it again, and there was never a heart like it before. Your heart is such a beautiful treasure. So just hold that heart of yours. Breathe into the light inside your heart. Feel the light growing. Feel your magnificence, that power within, that power to love, to overcome, to forbear suffering, that amazing resiliency and strength. Your heart, just letting it fill you up beyond the periphery of the chest, beyond the periphery of the body. You shine your light. You're shining and rippling out with your heart, love, light beyond this room, beyond this city, beyond this incredible place on the planet. Your heart light connecting with all the other heart lights, magnifying in wondrous rippling together, so that we cover this entire planet with our conjoined heart lights in blissful union, simply by existing together in this moment and placing awareness in our heart. We'll just take a moment or two in silence and meditation. You want to just deepen your breath a little bit here. And sigh out a nice exhale. Again. Ah. Let's inhale and take an Om together. So keeping your eyes soft or closed, we'll inhale. And I'm going to have us do a little bit of chanting this morning. And let your hands drop to your feet in place of pranayama, because chanting is a kind of pranayama, except we're engaging the voice, engaging the spirit. So even though we have music going on in the background, I'm selecting which chant we're going to do. And I think it's going to be the one I always do, because it's such a sort of beneficial message to all beings everywhere. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere in the world be happy and free. Free from any karmic imprints of victimhood, free from any karmic imprints of just victimhood, of not being seen, of not being understood. We are all here to be seen, understood, loved, celebrated. So this chant, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. So I will say a word and repeat it. You can repeat it with me the second time. We'll say each word once with the repeat. Then we'll put 2 and 2 together and repeat. And then we'll do all 4. So, Loka, Loka, samasta, samasta, sukhino, sukhino, bhavantu, bhavantu, loka, samasta, loka, samasta, sukhino, bhavantu, sukhino, bhavantu, loka, samasta, 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 sukhino, bhavantu. Thank you for joining me in the chanting this morning. Hopefully didn't clash with our music too much. Anyway, let's get started on the mat, and we'll take some, just sitting in a comfortable seat, we'll take some breaths and do a short gratitude love practice through the heart. And then I want us to go into a supported back bend. So having 2 blocks is really helpful for the supported back bend. If you don't have 2 blocks, you might have some blankets rolled up, and we'll make a nice long sausage blanket that you're going to put along the base of along your spine, starting at the base. And I will demonstrate that. If you do not have blankets or blocks, you're going to find a sturdy cushion or a couple of sturdy pillows that can give you some support underneath your back, and I will explain how we'll arrange those once we get into the session. But let's find a comfortable seat on our mat. If you need to take a moment and find some props around the house quickly, we can do that in the transition to the mat. So, and also, this is a great time to take a sip of water or tea or coffee if you're lucky enough to have such things right near you. And we'll go over to the mat. Oh, and if, as always, remarking on the stiffness of the legs as we do. All right. Just trying to allow you to have a little bit of a minute to find some props if you need them. Having 2 blocks and a couple of blankets for any yoga practice is actually just a really useful thing to have. Usually we have blankets around the house, but blocks are something that you think, oh, I don't need them, but they're actually just the most incredibly useful props ever. And they're not really that pricey. You know, it's not difficult to find a couple of yoga blocks for not much money. And if it's something that you feel you want to develop, I would encourage you to find yourself some yoga blocks, because it's just going to make your practice more fun. And that's really what we're aiming for, is more fun. So once you find your seat, maybe stretch your legs out in front of you, let your toes wave to the screen, saying hello, waving to the screen, just giving that a little bit of love, and then we're going to bring them in. And again, finding the comfortable seat is always about, you know, where you feel most supported with the support under your hip bones. And then and as everybody comes to a seat, we'll inhale, reaching the arms overhead. Hands come to prayer, and prayer comes to heart. And in bringing our prayer to our heart, we are offering love and gratitude for this incredible body, this amazing journey of life consciousness, this instrument of consciousness that is our body, that perceives, that feels, that emotes, that runs, that eats, that sleeps, that makes love, that does dancing, that does yoga. It's an incredible thing. Thank you, body. And wow, it does all these things by itself. The heart that beats and beats, the brain, the gut, the skin. It's amazing to have a body, and it's amazing to be in body. And I am just offering this moment. We'll all offer love and gratitude for this body, this being, this consciousness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Inhaling our arms overhead, hands come to prayer, prayer comes to heart, and we're just gonna offer love and gratitude for all the people on this planet, all the souls, wherever they are, on different journeys to ours, with different opinions to ours, who are not like us, who are different to us, how much we love and appreciate them for their difference, for their uniqueness, for their unusualness. And no, not everyone's the same, but we all are humans, and life is sacred, and we can honor that in each other. And so many humans in one's life are supportive, loving, kind. So many humans whose work contributes to my life who I don't even know. All the people on the planet, may you be happy and free. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we'll inhale our arms up, hands come to prayer, prayer comes to heart. Offering such love and gratitude for this incredible planet that is our home, that sustains us, that is so exquisitely beautiful, wide skies, incredible light, this experience of being physical on the earth is profoundly beautiful. And I thank the earth for all she gives. All. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we're come to our supported back bend. And if you're using the blocks, you're going to have one block on its highest setting at the top of the mat, and then one block on a medium setting below. If you're not using the mat, you're not using the block, but you do have blankets, you take a blanket, take it to its wide, actually, let's see here. I'm going to refold this like this to this orientation. And then you're just going to make a nice tight roll, like a sausage, like a burrito, if you know what a burrito is, if you live in California. And then you're going to place it on your mat in the middle of the mat. And you will orient the base of your spine right at the edge of that roll, and then lie back and recline on the roll, letting the arms fall out either side. If you do not have blocks, if you do not have a blanket, and you have, let's just say, a cushion or a pillow, I'm going to make this fold into sort of a pillowy shape so you can see it. You're going to put it across your mat here. So one pillow, maybe another pillow on top of it. And you're going to lie back on your pillows so that the tips of your shoulders and arms are above the pillows, but the pillows are supporting at the back of your heart. So the tops of your shoulders and your arms are off the pillows, and the pillows are just supporting underneath your back. If it's quite a sturdy pillow, you'll only need one. If the pillows are quite flexible, I suggest putting two together. So those are the options. I am going to go with my original plan, which is the 2 blocks, because I find that to be the most efficacious. If you're lucky enough to have more than 2 blocks with you, if you have 4 blocks, you might, as I'm going to come into the pose and then I'll explain the next part. So that lower block is going to go between your shoulder blades, and the base of the block is going to just hit about where the base of the shoulder blade is. And then, so you'll feel your arms, the shoulder blades on either side of the block. And then the head should just be supportive in a really way. So neither of the blocks should be wobbling in any way. So really find that stable, supported position. Now you can either have your legs out straight like this, or your legs can come to Baddha Konasana, butterfly. And I was going to say, if you have more blocks, having a block under each knee in Baddha Konasana can feel really lovely and supported. If you are chilly at all, this is a great time to cover yourself with a blanket. We are going to be here for a minute. I'm not going to put us into a restorative posture like this just to move out of it quickly. So I am actually going to take a blanket and put it across the lower part of my body because I feel like it's a little chilly in here and we're going to be here for a moment. So I encourage you to get cozy. I'm moving the blanket with my foot. And just find a place where you can drop in. We're moving towards the end of 2023. Any time that you can take in the next few days to really just allow yourself to rest, to go in, to be internal. And as your body weight drapes either over your pillows, over your blanket, over the blocks, you will feel it, especially with the blocks, working into the shoulders. It's a reason that I am a big fan of this pose. But what this does, whatever the support that you're resting on, is it allows the heart center to open using gravity, not using effort. So you can rest, letting the shoulders fall back off the pillow, let's say, or off your blanket on either side, or on either side of your block. And just imagining your back really melting into that support, as if gravity were trying to bring you down, as if your body was very slow moving treacle, and allowing us to be in this position for a while just allows that body in the motion of slow moving treacle to melt further. And as we melt further, we're just creating more space in the heart center. Really allowing yourself to drop in. And if you find that your mind is whirling with the thoughts, the noise, just observe that as if it were a mousetrap or roller coaster or just its own little orchestra. And you're just on the outside of the orchestra. And it's going and it's doing all the things that it does. But you're stepping away. You're not engaging. You're just observing. And you're breathing into the release over the support in your supported back bend, and observing the mind, the fluctuations, the noise. But you're just observing, you're not engaging. Really allowing yourself to feel the gravity pull the body to the ground. Feeling the opening in the heart space, the support from behind your heart. Your heart is being held. One more deep breath in, one more deep sigh out. Ah. You might just roll your head side to side gently. I move one arm up and down, take the other arm, move it up and down. And we're just gonna curl to one side, and to do that gently off the blocks, you're gonna bring your feet onto the floor with your knees pointed to the ceiling, and just allowing everything to just drop to one side so that you very gently come off your setup. And just be here on your side in a fetal position for a moment, feeling how the prolonged supported back bend has influenced the feelings around your back, around your heart space. And then we're going to just push up to a seat. And you're going to move your blocks to one side. And I think we're going to take a nice pigeon on each side, which we often do as a restorative practice. So you may want to fold your blanket here so it can act as support. You might want to get a second blanket that's folded to act as support. And use your open blanket to cover you. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing first before I cover myself again. I'm probably not going to cover myself. So you're going to come to your hands and knees here on your mat. And let's just take a couple cat-cows because we're here. Inhaling, lifting the heart forward, beaming the heart forward, lifting the tailbone, exhaling, rounding the spine. Inhaling, lifting the heart forward. Exhale, rounding the spine. And we'll bring our right knee behind our right wrist. And the right foot will just diagonally kick towards the left hip. And then using your toes on your left foot, inch your leg back so it's straight. So this might be where you take your folded blanket and place it underneath your right hip. If your right hip is not making contact with the mat, or it's a strain to make contact with the mat, put that blanket under that hip, and you amazingly take the strain away, and the pose feels better. And you're going to have a more effective pose because you'll be able to drop into gravity rather than fighting to relax into it. It's so much better to support the body so that the body can relax into the pose rather than straining and forcing something that the body doesn't want to do. And then they're going to be a very uncomfortable pigeon for a few minutes. So take the support you need. At the same time, look over that left shoulder. Make sure your left leg is straight. You can tuck the toes in. And then we're going to press our hands in front of that right knee. They're just parallel to each other. And lift the heart center. And again, I would say, are your hips properly supported? Can you just relax into the mat here? And as you do, you allow yourself to forward fold over that front leg. And you're going to feel the stretch in your hip. And it's probably going to feel good. If it doesn't feel good, if your knee is bothered, you're going to move onto your back, put your right hand ankle on your left knee and draw your left knee towards you, placing the hands either behind the thigh or on the knee. That is just doing the same thing that we're doing here, but on your back and less intense. If you're in forward folded pigeon, just allow yourself to drop in. Notice any area you might be gripping, your jaw, your brain, right? Your ears. I don't know. How do we grip our ears? We definitely grip our jaw, but there feels like there's a relationship there. And yeah, are you gripping in your hip? What can you let go? What can you release? How is the space between your shoulder blades?
How are your shoulders? Do you feel your forehead pressing into the ground? And if it's difficult or challenging for your head to come down, having a block underneath your head can feel really nice too. Or just take pigeon reclined on your back, as I described earlier. Just bringing that figure four towards you. The forward fold, though, does allow you to be more internal, using gravity, going inward. Breathing. And we'll press up into our hands, just beaming the heart center forward. And then you're just going to swing that left leg around. So you lean to the right onto your right elbow and swing your left leg forward. Very easy. And just change it up. So your left knee is going to be behind your left wrist. Your right hand will be parallel with your left hand. And you're going to swing that right leg back. Again, if your left hip now is not on the mat, you can put a block here, you can put a blanket, anything that allows your hip to make contact and really relax into the support is what you want. You're going to look over your right shoulder, make sure your right leg is straight, and then we'll press into our hands as we beam the heart center forward. And then allow yourself to just come down into the forward fold. And again, if this is uncomfortable on your knee, if this is uncomfortable in any way, you're going to go to your back, placing the left ankle on the right knee and drawing the figure four towards you, either placing the hands behind the right thigh or on the right knee. And again, the first thing that we think of when we come into our pose, especially when we're trying to do more restorative work, is to notice. What do we notice first? What do we notice about where we're gripping? What do we notice about where we're holding tension? And can we breathe into that? Can we release that? Letting your forehead melt. Letting your shoulders melt. Letting your hips just melt, melt, melt. As you are inhabiting the pose and having a relationship with your own physicality, examining what you're feeling, where you're gripping, you may notice that over time, because we're holding this for a while, unexpected places might release, places you didn't even know you were holding. deeper relationship to your breath. Allowing yourself to be nourished by the pose. On our next inhale, we'll push up, beaming the heart forward, and then lean into that left hip and left elbow, swinging the right leg around. One thing about restorative work and wearing a woolly sweater is you get lots of woolies on the nose. It's itchy. Gonna have us do a straddle forward fold. If forward folding with parallel legs is more comfortable, please take that instead. I just really encourage you to take something that can allow you to drop in. Having support for underneath your forehead, if you don't have a lot of flexibility, and folding forward can feel really good. If a block even is too low down, you may even put a chair in front of you so that the chair is here and you can place your forearms and just rest your forehead on your forearms while your arms rest on the chair, which would be about here. If the chair is too high, it probably won't work, but it's something about letting you forward fold, letting yourself rest. Having, if you have two blocks and you don't have a lot of flexibility, even because this is even putting one above the other like this, and just make sure your hands are supporting you. Cork blocks are a little bit more stable than foam, but this feels good. Or if you want, you can come down a little lower, really feeling the extension of the spine here, as if the flesh is removed from the sit bones and you're just pointing your head forward in a straight line from the base of your spine and allowing the forehead to melt into your support. And just feeling the expansion underneath the hips, contact with the floor. And if you feel relaxed, let again the awareness travel through the body, noticing where you're gripping, noticing if the jaw is tight, noticing if the mind is somewhat overactive. And again, I encourage you to step away from engagement right now and just be with your body. And you might feel the third eye area of the forehead pressing into your support. And you may just imagine a vortex of liquid pouring from your head through the third eye, deep into the earth. And on that vortex, all that noise, all that mental activity, mental striving, just carried out on this beautiful cleansing vortex of water, washed away deep into the earth. And then you're gonna use your hands to press yourself back up to seated. You may even take a moment to just feel the stretch, feel your heart center, and then push up. We're going to come to our backs. on the mat, I would really encourage you to have a blanket underneath your head. Like that. And then take the other blanket over top of you. You'll get yourself all set up before you drop in. So blankets covering you. Got a nice blanket for support underneath your head. Feeling all the body just rest into the mat. And then we'll take our hands, just rub them together vigorously. Vigorously rubbing the hands, creating heat. More. And then when you're ready, you're going to take those hands and place them over your eye sockets, letting the eyeballs fall and recede back into the skull, feeling the muscles around the eyeballs relax and soften under the warmth of your palms. And when you're ready, you can bring your arms to resting posture. For the Shavasana, I would suggest arms go to either side, palms face up. Remove anything that might be in contact with the body and creating uncomfortable feedback, any sort of objects that you happen to be touching or anything like that. Just give yourself a nice open Shavasana, not contained. And just allowing the feet, the ankles, the calves to melt and relax into the ground, the knees, the thighs, the hips. Really allowing yourself to just melt in. Letting the shoulders relax, back of the head, forearms and fingers, all letting go.
You may begin to feel the movement of air over the surface of the skin. This deepening the breath. And slight movement to the very tips of your fingers, very tips of your toes. Gently allowing your awareness to open. Movement through the body. Head may just ever so slightly roll side to side. Again, conscious of your breath. And when you're ready, you're going to roll onto one side in fetal position. And pushing yourself up to a seat, keeping your eyes closed, your soft focus, staying internal, and bringing hands to heart in prayer, one hand over the other, leaving them in your lap, connecting again to your heart energy, to your amazing source of life force that resides inside of you, your source of love force that resides inside of you, feeling the power and beauty of your amazing, unique heart. And then we'll take a nice big breath in, breathing into the heart, and breathing out. And then we'll inhale to Om together. Inhaling. I bow to you for supporting me on this journey. You are all my teachers. You are all so wonderful and unique and special. And it is an honor to share this path with you, to walk together. You teach me so much every day. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful end of your 2023. If I don't see you in person here in San Francisco before, but wherever you are in the world, and whatever time it is when you're watching this, you are loved and you are loved. And I hope that whatever moment that we're in, we're expressing that with such confidence in our power. I celebrate you, and I am so grateful for your being. Thank you, and be well. Enjoy the end of 2023, everyone. I'll see you in 2024 here next week. Very exciting. All right, take care.